against him than he has had. You remember Pink Eye? You
Oh,
remember he had that
yeah.
during that Winter
Yes.
Olympics? That was rough. Beyond that, though, I mean, an absolutely fabulous broadcast.
Yeah, that was a nasty case of pink eye at the Summer Olympics, I think.
And
Wasn't it summer or
and
winter?
I kid you not, if you meet him once, he'll remember your name 20 years later.
Mm.
I don't know how he does it. It's just remarkable to me. So, anyway, we want to talk to you a little bit about the construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline, which was on, off, now apparently back on again. Is that correct?
Yeah. In the Wayne's World reference, game on. You know, they're back at it right now, and the construction began almost immediately. Why? Well, the people at Energy Transfer Partners, were anxiously awaiting for this thing to get underway. When things were halted back in December. So now with the Trump administration in, they got the thumbs up after a little prodding from the Trump administration. Army Corps of Engineers gave them the thumbs up to continue building on that easement, which runs under the reservoir that attaches to the Missouri River. The concern, obviously, that some kind of leakage would flow into the water and create problems for the people downstream. Among those people, the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe, who have been fighting this in court. And yesterday they filed 2 more court injunctions, one seeking a temporary restraining order to halt the construction and drilling right now, saying it will desecrate the waters they rely on for religious ceremonies. And number 2, they filed a preliminary injunction to withdraw the easement, saying that it's unlawful under the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. So right now it appears the tribes, this is one of them, the other one is the Standing Rock Sioux tribe, are going to fight this thing out in court. As far as the protests and demonstrations, only a few hundred people remain at the site right now. It has been kind of blocked off, and Energy Transfer Partners as well as law enforcement agencies up there have been asking for federal help to try to keep people away from the site to prevent any kind of attack on it or, a flare-up in these protests and demonstrations.
Yeah, it did gain a lot of momentum. There were protesters all across the country. We even had some here in St. Louis. But my question is, while they are trying to fight this in court, I mean, they're still building it, right? I mean, they resumed it, and so it could be done soon.
The window is closing, and the tribes know this too. I mean, they have to fight this in court, and it's not going on in court there. It's in Washington, D.C. They do have rallies and protests and marches going on around the country. You may see them pop up from time to time. There's going to be a big one in Washington, D.C. next month. But they say that this 1.25 mile stretch that runs under the water is only going to take about 60 days to complete. They've already got the in-hole. They've already got the out-hole lined up, and now it's just a matter of getting that pipe through there. So it's not going to take a lot of time. This thing could be fully functional within about 90 days. Not a lot of time for these court proceedings to kind of get into motion here. But, even if it is up and fully functional, the tribes say they're going to continue to fight it in court in one form or another. One of the things they're fighting, by the way, they want to see the actual plans that run underneath the water source. They say that Energy Transfer Partners has kept that under lock, and the company says it has because it's afraid of attacks on the water or on the pipeline. They don't want to reveal everything to potential terrorists, potential protesters who want to get at it. But the tribes say, well, unless you reveal that information to us, how do we know that the pipeline is safe?
This is ABC News correspondent Ryan Burrow, who's joining us from Chicago this morning. Having seen maps of pipelines around the continental United States of America, this is more, I think, an emotional issue. That's my personal interpretation, than it is an actual physical issue. Because if you look at it, there's pipelines all over the place. I mean, it's remarkable how many of them there are.
Yeah, I mean, one of the issues that they had been fighting, obviously, is that this doesn't necessarily need to cross the water. They said it could have gone higher up, up North Dakota a little bit and cut across that way. There was no reason, they believe, that this needs to go under the water source. But when you continue to hear stories like we just saw in Iowa of a diesel fuel spill that ended up in agricultural farmland, didn't really have that big of an impact, but there was a stream nearby, and 170,000 gallons of diesel fuel spilled. There are concerns, especially with this water here, that it connects to the Missouri River and then goes down to the Mississippi River. They say 17 million people draw water of some sort from this at one point or another in the United States. So that seems to be where their concern is, and of course you throw in the tribal factor as well. The reference there by the water protectors, as they're calling themselves, is this is the black snake that's working its way through through tribal grounds. So there are a lot of different aspects going on, not just the water, but also religious rights and tribal rights, things of that nature.
All right. Thank you so much, Ryan Burrow, reporting from Chicago. Ryan Burrow from ABC News.